On today's show, the rookie tournament is here. We'll give our players to watch when the Senators take the ice this weekend.
And we get back to our organizational value rankings.
This is Brady Kachuk, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Ottawa Senators, the only daily podcast covering the Sens. On the outskirts of enemy territory, I'm Ross Levitan, alongside Brandon Piller up in the Blue Mountains. Today is Friday, September 12th, and Pilsy, how excited are you to see Senators jerseys on the ice in an NHL building this weekend?
I mean, Ross, I don't think we can avoid it. Ottawa Senators hockey is back. The Senators jerseys on the ice in an NHL arena. We're back. We're here.
We're so here. And there's a lot of players that have things to prove this season. We heard from Tyler Boucher yesterday after the Senators rookies took the ice. I tweeted out, I said, how neat would it be if Tyler Boucher has himself a nice training camp here? We're actually, no spoilers, going to draft our 6 players to watch. Now, there's a lot of call-ups in terms of guys who are going to play in the ECHL. You got Carter Savoy. You've got this mutant on the back end, Braden Simmons, Fisher, who is going to play with the Allen Americans. So we want to make it easy for you guys to key in on the players that either have the most to gain, maybe the most to lose in what is glorified summer hockey. The X's and O's aren't implemented yet. Skill will shine through. It'll be sloppy out there this weekend. And if you missed it, the schedule is as follows. The practices are over. The Senators will be traveling to Montreal today. They will take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow at 1 p.m. And then on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern, they will take on the Winnipeg Jets. Before we get to the draft, Pilsy, what are you hoping to see as a team for the Senators rookies this weekend?
I mean, 2 wins would be nice, Ross. Obviously, wins and losses aren't really what this tournament is about, but it'd be nice if we can get the guys clicking, get some good chemistry, because like I mentioned yesterday, a good chunk of these guys will possibly be teammates together on Belleville. So to start off their time together with a couple wins, albeit in a rookie tournament, is good, but mostly I don't want to see anyone feeling out of place in a negative way. Like, I don't want it to be glaring like, oh man, this guy had a bad camp, or what's going to go on with this guy based on what he showed. And obviously, I want everyone from all teams to come away from this healthy. That's the big thing.
Yes, well, Arbor Jacka is not participating, so there's a higher chance of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Senators haven't played since May 1st, 135 days between games where the Senators jerseys, we have to clarify, will be flying around the ice. The Senators themselves open the preseason a week from Sunday when they take on the Toronto Maple Leafs at 3 o'clock on Sunday, the 21st. But, Pilsy, what I'm happy about is that the team is, like, respectable. Remember last rookie camp, we're like, this team's going to get slaughtered. And they did in Buffalo.
Yeah, it was tough. I think I was there for the first one that we were allowed to go back after COVID, and it was ugly. Like, I was watching a D pair of Ben Roger and Philip Nordberg together, just like, oh boy, these are 2 second-round picks from a rebuilding team, and this is what we look like.
Well, last year was probably worse. They went 0-3 and got outscored 17-4 in the 3 games.
Oh, man, I forgot it was that bad.
It was bad last year. But hey, it's a new year. It's a new light. And these are the players that we're going to be keeping a close eye on. We're going to do this draft style. We each got 3 players that we're going to key in on. Pilsy, you win the coin toss. You have elect to receive the first overall pick. Who are you going to take? Who's the most critical player to watch in this weekend?
I mean, I'm not going to go off the board here, Ross. Just going to go with the chalk pick, 1-1, Carter Yakimchuk, the organization's highest draft pick in this rookie tournament, 7th overall. A lot of people thought after the impressive preseason he had last year that he earned himself a spot in the NHL. the Ottawa Senators smartly, in my opinion, send him back to junior, try to round out the rest of his game. And now he's coming in here and he's not going back to junior. It's either Belleville or the NHL. So he has a chance to absolutely dominate. I want to see him put up one highlight reel goal and one big hit. Like, give us the Carter Yakimchuk experience, a bomb on the power play and a good open ice hit in center ice, something like that. So I'm excited to watch Carter Yakimchuk go up against some of these other rookies.
It's funny because I would love to see it as well, but if I'm putting my Sens management hat on, if I'm putting my junior VP of hockey operations hat on, if I'm stealing it from you, I would say I want it to be a calm rookie camp for Carter Yakimchuk. They know that he's got the offensive pop. They know that he can land big hits. I think that the Sens management is looking for Carter Yakimchuk to be a stout defensive force, be in position, break up plays, make solid outlet passes, and use his improved skating. And he added 10 pounds of muscle, he said. It's crazy how all the players only add muscle in the off season.
Me and you are a little different.
I'd like to do that sometime.
Yeah.
But with Yak, though, I think that it's wild to say because you don't want to rein in that type of player too much and take away what they do so well. But I think if he wants to put on the best show for management, it's going to be the little details of his game that have to be top notch.
No, that's fair. I guess I will admit I was speaking from a fan perspective there. I'm just like, Carter Yakimchuk is our top guy. I want to see him have a sick goal, big hit, be
get in a fight.
No, we don't need him getting in a fight. I'm not going there. But I want to just be like, wow, other teams and fan bases are like, who the heck is this Yakimchuk guy? Damn, he's nasty. Like that's what I want selfishly as a fan. But as management, you probably have the more appropriate approach there.
And you have the right pick. That is the no doubt 1-1 for this draft. My number one player to watch is going to be Stephen Halliday because I think he has the most to gain. He can see the road to a first call-up opportunity if the time comes. I know they're set down the middle with Stützle, Cousins, Pinto, and Eller, but he really could be that next man up. And Jan Yannick might have something to say about it, the way he decides to play and come into camp. He's probably hungry after having the contract linger for him. There are options, even just moving Ridley Gregg to center and calling up a winger, if that could be the case. But Stephen Halliday, we've always been fans of his, but when the Senators invited him to that golf tournament as a two-way contract guy, that opened my eyes that, hey, they are extremely high on him. Even Sam Gagne, when he got hired, his first interview, he basically is going to be the Stephen Halliday whisperer this season in Belleville as the head of the development staff. So I got Stephen Halliday here. He's no stranger to rookie tournaments. This, I believe, will be his second because he was in college before, and those college kids don't partake in this tournament. But he's also got the full year of pro experience under his belt, leading Belleville in scoring. So he could be a guy that pops off at this tournament, and I hope he does.
Yeah, and he's got the size, so he shouldn't have any problems physically in this tournament. I want to see the offense run through Halliday. Like, I want him to be, that point guard in basketball, that he starts with the ball. He starts with the puck. Everybody's waiting and moving based on how Halliday is moving and setting the play up. And there's no reason why he can't be an efficient player here.
Okay, we're not doing the snake style. We're just going to snap it back and forth. So who's number 2 for you?
Tyler Boucher is number 2 for me. I mean, honestly, Ross, I want to watch Tyler Boucher any opportunity I have because there's not a lot of opportunities to watch him, unfortunately. And he would say the same. He talked to the media and he emphasized multiple times how much it sucked having to deal with injuries and that just when he thinks he's feeling good, another one pops up and he's just been so stalled in his development because he's not had a chance to have consistent, stable playing time and health. So he says he's feeling good. He mentioned that multiple times too. So look, as a guy that was picked 10th overall in 2021, there's no reason why he can't be a good player if he's healthy and has the ice time and opportunities. So I don't even like different than Yakimchuk and Halliday, Ross. I'm not expecting or hoping to see Boucher dominate. I just want to see him play smart, good game and just have little positives to build on. Like, I think it's going to be a slow process here with Boucher, but we're
It
cheering
hasn't
for
been
the kid.
already.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it's not going to be like lightning in a bottle. He's going to catch fire and he's all of a sudden going to be amazing because he hasn't had that time to build up to that. I think it's going to be continuous. He's just got to take one step at a time, get 1% better each day, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and your strategy in this draft is very obvious. You have the 2 highest drafted players on the Ottawa Senators, and we'll see shortly what my strategy is. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Let's be honest, guys, most people can't name their financial accounts or even what they're worth in entirety, whether it's your 401ks, your property, or your investment. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. Don't do that. That's why Monarch Money is here. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Let Monarch do the heavy lifting for you. Link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Do you have subscriptions you forgot you were paying for? We all do, but link your account to Monarch and immediately spot subscriptions you aren't using, cancel those, and save money every single month. And Monarch makes it simple to review your finances with your partner. You can see budgets, goals, and spending activity all in one place. So stop letting financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
All right, Pilsy, we'll get back to our draft of rookies to watch in just a moment. But did you see Marc-Andre Fleury has signed a PTO with the Pittsburgh Penguins?
That's got to be April Fool's or something.
Nope, it's not. They put
April Fool's in September would be a wild move, I guess.
It's actually a sick photo, though. He's got his 3 Stanley Cup rings on.
But is this like a retire as a Penguin type thing?
I don't know. They need goaltending, and they've needed it pretty badly.
I mean,
that's the photo they posted of him signing it.
I mean, I think it's a fun story. They're rebuilding. They're the only team in the NHL that's actively trying to get worse. Why not bring in a good vibes guy, a mentor like Marc-Andre Fleury? I actually think it would be a smart move. And the NHL is not ready to be done with the Flower. He's just such an infectious, fun personality that I'm totally down for it.
It's just wild. No pun intended. He played for Minnesota last, but he had his retirement tour, it felt like. And then he even had a retirement party this summer. So I don't know. Anyways, he loves
He's
hockey.
doing the Tom Brady. He's doing the retirement, and he's like, no, you know what? I got a little more in me. Let's run it back.
Yeah, well, there's somebody who's going to be pretty upset that he's coming to camp.
It's almost impossible to stop.
I mean, will he be upset? He's going to get his money. It's not like they're competing for a Stanley Cup. Like,
You're competing for a job.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyways, neither here nor there. The Pittsburgh Penguins are the least of Ottawa's problems. Finally,
Thank
it feels
God.
like
Yeah.
to say.
Thank God.
But back to our draft. So far, Pilsy has taken Carter Yakimchuk and Tyler Boucher. I've got Stephen Halliday to watch this weekend, and I'm going to go right back to that 2022 draft. I mentioned Stephen Halliday. This is his second rookie tournament, but for Jorian Donovan, it's his fourth since being drafted in 2022. Jorian Donovan, also a year of AHL experience now. And if you look at the D-core, it's pretty young outside of Jorian Donovan. So I'm looking for him. He wore a letter at this tournament last year. He wore an A. I would not be surprised if he's the captain of this team. I would not at all. I think he's the kind of guy that can put on a leadership role. I think he's the kind of guy that if someone takes liberties on one of the younger players, he'll step in and drop the gloves. Not the biggest guy, which is ironic to say when you're looking at the Senators' D-core of 3 players who are 6'7". He's 6'1", but he's got the heart of a lion, and he's also a great skater. He should be able to control the pace of the rookie tournament. So I'm going to be watching for Jorian Donovan. I would expect him to be paired with Carter Yakimchuk, and that'll be a good opportunity for him to put his skills on display.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jorian Donovan is a player that Sens fans need to be more aware of. I think management thinks very highly of him, and I'm excited to see what he does in his second full pro season.
Yes. So Jorian Donovan will be my second pick. Pilsy, who's your final selection?
Hashtag goalie friendly show. I'm going Luka Beckman, the pick from this year's draft. The first goalie that the Ottawa Senators took. They took two goalies, a French Canadian that stole the starting job with his team, the Drakkar, in the QMJHL. A lot of people around the scouting community really praise the Ottawa Senators for the value they got with picking Beckman, I believe in the third round. 97th overall was he?
Yes, 97th.
Nice. Nailed it. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Ross, we talked yesterday about how they should split the goalies up. There's 3 of them, only 2 games. I'm giving Luka Beckman a full game.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The youngest guy. The youngest of all 3.
I'm giving him a full game because I want to see what he looks like in this setting. Because, I mean, Jackson Parsons, he's most likely going to play a majority of the year in the ECHL. So they're going to get to see him in that setting. And then Vladimir Nikitin, where did he end up again? We just saw it.
USHL.
USHL. So he's going to get USHL time. Whereas Luka Beckman going back to junior, I want to see him in this setting a little bit more. And he's the newest guy. Well, I guess Jackson Parsons, but he's the newer draft pick. So
yeah, looking forward to it. His gear is outrageous. It's got like the dragon scales on it. He plays for the Drakkar and the QMJHL. If you're watching on YouTube, we pulled it up. This photo is from the Ottawa Senators. They posted photos of all their goalies, and it gave me like a little pause because I think it's actually pretty cool. They've got one goalie rocking all black and one goalie rocking all white. This is Vladimir Nikitin in the all white, and then Jackson Parsons in the all black. Still, he told us that his gear was on its way, man. We got to get the supply chain rolling here. Parsons, you're making it hard on yourself with the all black, buddy.
No, I am on the opposite side of this, Ross. I love the all black. And
with the white helmet too?
Yeah, the helmet we got to work on, but I'm sure that's in the works here. But he said himself, he's making it harder on himself, giving himself a challenge. It's been too easy for the kid lately. So if you can use color science to improve your game or to make things more difficult, because then Ross, he's going to switch to the all white pads. He's going to be like, man, playing goalie is so easy.
He's such a beauty, man. If you guys missed it, go check out our interview with Jackson earlier this summer. The reason why I didn't go with a goalie on my list is what you alluded to. They're not playing enough, dude.
Yeah, Ross hates goalies. Hashtag goalie hater show over here.
You might have just told all the citizens to keep your eye out for a guy who could play 40 minutes out of 2 games.
It still matters. Goalie, arguably the most important position in hockey, Ross. So it's too bad you've lost sight of that. And the only stat Ross cares about is time on ice.
Come on. With my third pick, I'm going with Oscar Pettersson. Pew, pew. He was selected as a centerman for this tournament, so I'm going to be curious. And now, if you haven't already figured it out, my theme is guys who have all played in Belleville already. I need these guys to be the leaders. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Jorian Donovan's the captain and Halliday and Pettersson are the 2 alternate captains in this event. I really wouldn't be surprised with that. Pettersson feels good. Coach Dave Bell said that his compete level is already NHL ready. And in these types of tournaments, skill's good. Compete is the most important thing. So I'm looking for Oscar Pettersson to make a real impact in this event.
Yep, me too. Just coming off of winning hardest worker in Dev Camp, really wants to show management that he's more than just bottom line grinder. He's willing to accept switching positions to play center. He knows he's got that shot in him. He just needs a little bit more opportunities to get in scoring positions, and he can do good things. So I'm excited about Oscar Pettersson as well, friend of the show.
So our players to watch: Carter Yakimchuk, Tyler Boucher, Luka Beckman, Stephen Halliday, Jorian Donovan, and Oscar Pettersson. On Monday's show, we'll look at how these 6 players did. And if you're curious, you can find the entire roster on the Senators website. We retweeted it at Sens Central. The prospects, because again, there's players who are not officially Senators prospects on this roster. The ones that we did not name of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on all of them. Blake Vanek, Xavier Bourgault, and Jake Chason up front. And on the back end, Tomas Hamara, Eric Wallenius, Jabril Toure, Gabe Eliason, and Matthew Andonovsky, Parsons, and Nikitin, the other two goalies there. So we're looking forward to all of that. We are also looking forward to our organizational value rankings. We're into the mid-20s. We've got on today's show our first NHL player, like full-time NHL player, no doubt, and also the first player, and we're all the way at 26. And I'm not saying that it's the player 26, but in this group from 26 to 23, and again, we started at 65, the first player that will make $1 million or more. Who is it? Find out next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, guys, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. I only use FanDuel Sportsbook. It's my go-to, and it's my go-to because they've got the best ways to bet. You want player props, they got all kinds of player props, same game parlays, so many options you can put together, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. The Jays are working towards their playoffs. NFL is here. Hockey's on the horizon. So get to FanDuel. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to your Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
All right, Pillsy, we are getting to our organizational value rankings in just a minute. But first, an FAQ. Will the games this weekend be streamed? It's still unclear. Actually, Rob wrote in on YouTube saying that he asked his ticket rep if they'll be streamed, and he told him as far as he knew they wouldn't, which I refuse to believe. If they can be streamed from a practice facility in Buffalo, they can be streamed from the Bell Center, the cathedral of hockey in Montreal. I refuse to believe that we will be unable to watch these games.
I was worried this was going to happen,
No.
Ross. I don't know why, but the Sens just...
No, I refuse. I refuse.
Okay, so what happens if it's not streamed?
We're going to find a way.
Okay. It just seems like they're not able to provide the streams for these types of events that fans are so starving for. And I don't understand why. Like, honestly, what I would do is stream the games and have, I don't know, maybe some podcasters do play-by-play and color commentating for these games as an opportunity.
One of our biggest viewed videos on YouTube is a watch along for the 2022 rookie tournament, Ottawa versus Boston, I believe.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have the game was on a different tab. We thought that there could be a copyright if we actually showed it. So just us chatting while the game's going on. So there is an appetite for it. And again, I refuse to believe that it will be unavailable. So we'll wait to see. And when we find out, not if, when we find out where you can stream it, we'll pass that information along at Sens Central on Twitter. All right, Pillsy, back to our organizational value rankings into the mid-20s. And I'm a little upset that we cut off yesterday after Ole Lycksell, because I feel like Ole Lycksell and this player here, Arthur Kaliev, have so much in common, from the roles they could be playing on this team as either top-line Belleville players, or if they have great camps, potentially earn themselves a decent number of NHL games this year. They're both in that same age range. I think Lycksell is 26 or 27, if I'm not mistaken. And Arthur Kaliev is 24 years old, long rumored to be coming to the Ottawa Senators, basically since Andlauer bought the team and Steve Stais came aboard, because Kaliev was a superstar, not even a star, a superstar in junior for the then Hamilton Bulldogs. Hasn't been able to put it together at the NHL level, though. He's 6'2", 209 pounds, one of those I want to call him Russian, but one, he's from Uzbekistan, and two, he represents the United States at international tournaments. He grew up in the States in Staten Island near New York. So, but he does shoot left and often play the right way.
Yeah, that's a classic sniper move, and that's what Kaliev is when he's at his best. I mean, his best year was 2022, 2023 in 56 games, 13 goals, 15 assists. Like 28 points in 56 games is pretty decent, especially as a guy who would have been, 22 that year? So, like, the promise was there. And you talked about how great his junior career was, Ross. In his last 2 seasons in junior, he had 98 and 102 points. Like, this guy was an absolute point getter.
Yeah, 51 tucks in in 67 games in junior.
Yeah, elite. And we knew he was going to make his way to Ottawa. It was just a matter of when. I think ideally you're looking for Kaliev. Well, I guess I should name his stats from last year. He split the year between LA and New York, only played in the NHL for the New York Rangers. 14 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points, plus 2.
1 goal. 1 goal in 1 game against Ottawa.
Yeah, true. That's tough. But ideally, he's playing top 6 in Belleville for most of the year and gets a call up for, I don't know, a couple games here or there, and gets an opportunity to at least play some power play time on the second unit, or put himself in a position where he can use that shot to be successful. Best case scenario for Arthur Kaliev is basically try to do what Adam Gaudette did last year, right? Like, that would be the formula, is have an awesome training camp, slip through waivers, get your chance in the NHL, and then be able to put up big points playing in a bottom 6 role and getting power play time. Like, that would be what the Ottawa Senators and Kaliev would both want.
Yes. I don't know if I have that high of expectations of him.
I mean, we didn't have that expectation of Adam Gaudette, let's be honest.
You're right. Well, he should just pretend he's playing against the Senators all the time, because I mentioned 1 goal in 1 game this year. He has 4 goals in 7 career games against the Ottawa Senators. This is a guy who, when he's on, can score. I couldn't believe when I was doing my research on him that he's played over 200 NHL games and he's 24 years old. Like,
wow.
To put that in perspective, Pilsy, like, you're looking at a situation, and people will remember that Shane Pinto went a pick before Kaliev, and everyone wanted Arthur Kaliev. I mean, why wouldn't you at that point? We rung up his numbers the previous season in his draft year. Arthur Kaliev has played 8 less NHL games than Shane Pinto.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, Pinto has missed a lot of time with injuries and a half-year suspension, but yeah.
Right, but still, for a guy who played 14 games this past season, like, this is a guy who has NHL experience, and we'll see how he does in Ottawa. But I'm with you. I think he's a guy that gets sent down and put through waivers. The only problem is he was put on waivers last year and got claimed. So could that be a situation that happens again for Arthur Kaliev? They are paying him a very, very good AHL salary this season at $425,000.
So almost his one-way money.
I mean, not a math guy, but 775,000 isn't that close.
When you consider, like, what most guys' minor splits are, like, that's pretty good.
And he's going to make a minimum of $450,000 this year. So maybe that scares away teams from making a claim on him. And I guess maybe that could be more hopeful, but we'll see what happens with Arthur Kaliev this upcoming season. It is also worth noting that players who go on waivers and get claimed during training camp have to be on the NHL roster for opening night. So Arthur Kaliev, who makes his debut on our organizational value rankings, comes in at number 26. Final question on Arthur Kaliev, just to wrap up the last 2 conversations. Who do you have the higher hopes for? Is it Ole Lycksell or Arthur Kaliev?
I mean, depends what you're asking. Are you asking for their NHL potential, Belleville? What's the question?
If they're both playing the full season in Belleville, which I don't foresee, but let's say they both play 72 AHL games, who produces more?
Ole Lycksell, in my opinion. Just because I think he has more of a well-rounded game, whereas Arthur Kaliev, like, if he's not scoring goals,
Dude, close your eyes, though, and think of Kaliev with Stephen Halliday. You'd need probably a little speed on the other wing to go hound pucks.
Yeah.
But that could be a fun shooter, passer, or disher combination there. So shout out to Arthur Kaliev. He's in Ottawa. We'll see how he does at training camp. Coming in at number 25, we've made it to the NHL roster. And shout out to Nicholas Matinpalo for making it to the NHL roster, because we've discussed plenty on this show how easy it would have been for him to give up after last season. He had 4 games in the NHL. He got riding the bus in Belleville all year. And he said, no, I'm committed to playing in the National League. And he did that, played half the season, 41 games. He was a healthy scratch for a bunch as well. Like basically, once he got called up, he never went back down. He was an NHL roster player. Mm-hmm. And then he ended the season great. Like he scored that goal that rung through the National Hockey League. That'll have to be one of the goals in the countdown too. Net front goal from Nicholas Matinpalo. You kidding me? But that was his only goal. 4 points, -2, 20 penalty minutes. But I think there's going to be people who are wondering, why isn't he higher than 25? I think there was maybe a little bit of an infatuation with Matinpalo because, no disrespect to Travis Hamonic, the alternative was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he is guaranteed, especially with Jordan Spence. I think him as the 7th defenseman is perfect. And I don't think that's disrespectful to Matinpalo, who, by the way, is 6'3", 212 pounds, 26 years old. I just think he is in the perfect tier. He's NHL depth. He gives you an opportunity that when injuries happen, he can step in and not hurt you.
Yeah, he's a 7th defenseman that can be your 6th defenseman. And look, maybe that sounds disrespectful, but I mean, that's not at all. Like, for him to be in this position and to carve out this role for himself is pretty impressive. He got himself a 2-year, one-way deal. At $875?
Yeah. He got a $100,000 raise.
Yeah, like, so he's doing well for himself, and he's earned it because he plays a hard game. He blocks shots. He plays physical. He's a defensive shutdown guy, and
he can skate too. He's got great skating ability.
Yeah, the chemistry that he built with Tyler Kleven starting in Belleville, that elevated his opportunity to play with Tyler Kleven in the NHL, and they work good together as a third pair. So I think Matinpalo and the Senators, I think this deal they signed was a mutual deal where both of them are like, this works great for both of us.
And Matinpalo, I know he's going to be a long shot for Team Finland because Finland was dealing with so many injuries on the back end. That's how he got his opportunity at the Four Nations, but played decent for them there. The numbers don't show that. -5, no points in 3 games. But he went to the World Championships, Pillsy. And not only did he play well there with 2 points, +3, 4 PIMs in 8 games, but we've seen this, and who knows if it affects the final roster, but we've seen it that organizations love when their players go to the World Championships. So he took that on, and with 41 games played during the regular season, plus 24 in Belleville before the call-up, like, I think it was important for him to play as much as possible this season, and he did. So, look, I think he's going to be a really nice depth piece for the Ottawa Senators and a great find when they got him in free agency in 2023. Just slowly but steadily climbing up our rankings. He went from 32 to 26, and now he's at 25. So Nicholas Matinpalo, the first National Hockey League player on our rankings, which brings us to another at number 24, from Nicholas to Nick Cousins. That is 2 Nicks, 2 Cousins. Well, we got them both in this player here. 32 years old. He's 5'11", 192. You don't need a thesis to figure out what Nick Cousins brings to the league. He's a pest. He's annoying. And he has some skill, too. He scored a couple breakaway goals last year. It's unfortunate, the ACL injury that knocked him out for the second half of the season, but I'm happy they brought him back. I think, again, NHL depth. He doesn't have to play all 82 games, but he's a great piece of the puzzle to plug in when needed.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't need a thesis to describe Cousins, Ross, because I did not prepare a thesis, so that I skated by on that one. But what I can tell you about Nick Cousins is in the past 6 consecutive years, he has played games in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. And I mean, that's the kind of experience you want. Think of how many guys on the Senators, this was their first NHL playoff experience. So He's won a Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. He's eliminated the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs. He's an absolute rat, and I mean that in an endearing way. He's a pest. He pisses guys off. Would we have liked to see more of that this year in the playoffs rather than just place a puck in Stolar's direction during warmups, and that caused the Toronto Maple Leafs fan base and universe to lose their minds? Yeah, you could have done a little more, but he was coming back from that injury, and I don't think he was 100% healthy. But I like that they brought him back to Ross. I think he fits perfectly on that fourth line. I mean, he even spent some time on the third line last season and didn't seem that out of place. So this is a guy you should bring back, a Belleville native. I'm down for Nick Cousins.
Yeah, he's up 3 spots on our organizational value rankings. And Pillsy, AI is scary. I went to Chat GPT and I said, write me a 1,000-word story about Nick Cousins. And they did. The title is Grinding the Ice, the Nick Cousins story. And the last paragraph says, Nick Cousins may never be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, but in every rink he's played in, he's left an impression. And in a league built on speed and skill, there's still a place and a deep respect for the grinders, the pests, and the warriors. This is Nick Cousins' journey. It wasn't easy. It wasn't flashy, but it's been one hell of a ride, and it's far from over.
Love it. Couldn't
Nick
have said
Cousins
it better myself.
Comes in at number 24 on our organizational value rankings after being a free agent signing in 2024. He gets a 1-year, $825,000 contract, so a $25,000 raise from what he made last season, adjusted for inflation. Coming in at number 23, the new guy, Lars Eller, 36 years old, 6'1", 207 pounds, and this is a left shot centerman. That's been emphasized by the organization that they wanted to have another left shot down the middle to join Tim Stützle. You got Cousins and Pinto as righties, so now you've got a perfect balance with that. He also brings leadership, experience. He scored the Stanley Cup clinching goal in 2018 for the Washington Capitals. That was a few years ago. Now he's going to be relied on to win key faceoffs and to take 8 to 10 minutes a night off of the top guys and play positive minutes in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why when we talked about the Sens signing Lars Eller, I think you and I had our sights set on other players, but I think you made a good point being like, look, the Ottawa Senators had to find themselves a player that would know they're essentially only going to be a fourth line center. And Lars Eller is the right guy for that. He has penalty killing experience. He's good in the face-off dot. And like, he's had a nice career, 17 years, 1,116 games, and he's played 112 playoff games over 12 different seasons. So, like, this guy's got experience you need. And sure, we've heard from Washington fans that say, oh, man, he really lost a step. He's not the same as he was. And that's fine because he's only going to be relied upon to play 8 minutes a night and maybe be on a second penalty killing unit type of thing. So I think this was a good signing, low risk, only a 1-year deal with bonuses. I was about to say I'm excited to see what Lars Eller can bring to this team. Maybe that's a little much.
How about curious?
Yeah, I'm curious and I'm optimistic that he can fulfill his role.
Yeah, so am I. And he had 22 points last season. He was traded early on from Pittsburgh to Washington, so he got to be around the Ovechkin goal chase. He got to be around a team that finished first in the Eastern Conference and made it to the second round of the playoffs. And this is going to be a nice locker room piece. I think just as much on the ice, it's what he's going to bring and help the Shane Pintos and Dylan Cousins and Tim Stützles of the world. Just been there, done that. That's what Lars Eller brings, and that's why he comes in at number 23 on our organizational value rankings. Pillsy, we are officially done the NHL depth tier. So Lars Eller is our number 1 NHL depth piece for the Ottawa Senators, followed by Nick Cousins, Nicholas Matinpalo, Arthur Kaliev, Ole Lycksell, Lassie Thompson, Mads Søgaard, and Zach McEwen. You know what I like? There's a bit of everything there. There's 2 defensemen, there's a goalie, there's 5 forwards. Like, they've got different pieces that can help out in different ways throughout this season.
Yeah, and I think the Ottawa Senators, the new regime, is responsible in that manner, being like, look, we've got our top guys locked up. We don't need to worry about that. We need to fill in the pieces around them, and we need to make sure if some of those pieces around them get hurt or aren't available or what have you, that we have guys that can step up and that we feel in small sample size can elevate their games to meet expectations. So I think the crew in this depth tier, I would feel pretty confident that in small sample sizes, they can play the role they're asked of.
The next tier, tier 5, is it's not blue chip prospects. That's tier 3, but we didn't have room to write it on there because we already did our prospects tier. This is like the rising prospects. This is a very small tier, but we didn't think it was fair to push them down, and they're not NHLers yet or pros yet. So basically, the last 2 tiers have been pro hockey players. These guys have already made it to become professional athletes, but these next 2 guys will absolutely become that. So we're looking forward to getting to those and more NHL bodies, blue chippers. We're going to get to the core of the team and the franchise talent that they have as we continue our countdown. That doesn't mean that's all we're doing. We're working on getting some big interviews for you. We're working on getting some great guests. We got a Sens Central citizen already lined up for the next couple of Wednesdays. We are your team every day. We're the show for fans, by fans, and we really appreciate everybody being along on this journey. It means a lot to us, and the puck can't drop soon enough. Let's put it that way. If you missed any of our interviews, though, throughout the summer, you can go check those out wherever you get podcasts. Pillsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
Final thoughts for me is if you are a Sens fan going to the Bell Center, bring your
phone
camera and a tripod and charge that phone battery, because do not let Ross Levitan down when he finds out we're not going to be able to watch these games easily.
Happening, dude.
Look, I hope I'm wrong, but I just got a bad feeling we're not good. Like if they had a stream set up and we're going to broadcast it, they would make it very clear where, when, and how to watch it, because I assume they know that Sens fans are starving for this.
I just don't think they want to overpromise and underdeliver. They want to make sure that the Wi-Fi.
They're an NHL hockey team with skaters at an NHL arena. If you can't find a way to put it on video and show the video to people, we got bigger problems.
They will.
Oh.
And if they don't, tune in Monday, because it's going to be full chaos mode here on the show. Thanks so much, everyone, for liking the show. Please hit the subscribe button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. We really do appreciate it. You can follow on Twitter as well at Sens Central, LockedOn.Senators on Instagram. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Have a great weekend, everyone. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.